Namaste, and welcome to another session of guided meditation. All the previous guided meditations that I've been leading is available on my YouTube channel. So I recommend people to also look at them so that you can have a better appreciation of each guided meditation a little better. Of course, with practice, it gets even better, and so you understand even more. One of the important aspect about how we start to meditate is, I keep mentioning this, is this aspect of attitude. When we have that attitude that we need to strive to become something, then meditation can be very arduous. It can be a very difficult process. So really what meditation has, we have to have that at least this vision is that we're not seeking some enlightened state, but that we're already enlightened in that sense that pure nature is already within us. And all that we have to do is to recognize that, is to reconnect with that enlightened state. So you can see this that almost everyone at some point of time manifests some kind of goodness in their life. There is some kind of pure intention that most people who at least are at least psychologically stable seem to manifest. Where does this goodness come out of? Is it something that they have to cultivate, or is it because that it's already there? So a lot of people who haven't had any spiritual training also can manifest this goodness because that enlightened state is already within every one of us. So that is a very good attitude to take with our meditation. It just is much more helpful than trying to strive to become something that we think is a very Herculean task. The second point, all the meditations that I'm guided meditations I'm emphasizing is this aspect of awareness. The reason for that is it's a very complex process to learn meditation through learning different energy practices, different yogic practices, because those take a lot of skill, and also they take a lot of guidance. And even with all that, it always seems that we are still short of something. But with awareness, just with awareness as a practice, it automatically has a stabilizing point for us. And this stability of awareness is what I illustrated yesterday with one of the practices or teaching that one of the examples I gave about the sky and the clouds. The sky is stable while the clouds are in movement. The sky is awareness, and the clouds are like constant activities that come and go. So there isn't always that conscious aware entity in them. That stable entity is not there. Now, this same example we can actually use for everything. So if we look at our body, it's constantly in movement. And this we can see clearly by the nature of sensations in the body. This constantly is changing sensation. Like if you sit in one posture for a while, you're bound to have some kind of unease, and there's some sensation that will prod you to move, and that movement is actually the nature we can use to understand that movement happens against the background of some stable entity, which I'm calling as awareness. So this awareness is what we can use to train in meditation. It is the easiest, and it is also the most potential aspect of meditation. And once we recognize that, then we can actually see that everything happens in the background of this awareness. Like the breathing happens in the background of awareness. And today what we're going to explore is this aspect of how thoughts are moving and how to work with thoughts. And this is where awareness can be very helpful. The moment we understand that the nature of thoughts is to be active, is to move, then we realize that it is happening against the background of awareness. And then we are not so much caught in that thought. And that is what the example that's given again, it's like seeing the river. The moment you see the river, you realize that you're out of that river. Because if you're in the river, then you're actually caught in its current. But if you're outside of that river, you can actually see it. So that's how we will work with thoughts in this meditation. So, having given that introduction, let us begin our guided meditation for today. So, once again, let us start with that intention. And again, as I mentioned, has that attitude that what we are doing is to reconnect with our own true, pure, unconditional, loving nature. So, let us start with that intention that we want to connect to that, establish that purpose. And from our own heart, we can say a prayer. Any prayer that comes naturally to you, asking for guidance, blessing, or just opening up to something that is bigger, superior than the limited self we take ourselves to be. And now we can actually just take a few inhalation and exhale out naturally, but except that last part where we push out the exhalation a little bit. So let us do that 3 times. We take an inhalation and exhale naturally, and towards the end, just push it out a little bit. 3 times. We will do that at your own pace. So you're exhaling out whatever breath is still there. You just push it out, and along with that, you feel that negative energy, restlessness, everything goes out with that. It's the same thing we do with alternate nostril breathing, where you breathe in from one nose, you exhale naturally through the other nose. There is no controlling at any point, except in the last point, you push out the air a little bit, and with that, you can imagine that the negative energy is getting expelled. Towards the last, like this. When you're doing this, you can also, if you like, imagine that at some point, maybe somewhere towards your chest, until where that air is going out. Just a visual thing to help you with how much force to exert when you push out that air. Okay, so let us now start with the regular practice of our meditation. And for today, after we kind of watch the body, scan the body sensations, we will actually watch the breathing as we did in previous sessions. So start with scanning the body from the top of the head. You just feel that each part of the body you're scanning. So the forehead, you can just become aware of any sensations. The mouth, the face, the eyes, the ears, all the facial parts, you can become aware. Whatever sensation, heat, cold, throbbing, pain, or any sensation, you just become aware. Just let go. Throat area, become aware. Chest area, become aware. The abdomen area, become aware. The upper arms, lower arms, all the way to the fingers, upper back, lower back, your legs, all the way to the feet. Become aware of any sensations in the body. Just remain as awareness, remain a witness to whatever sensations you have in the body. Now just become aware naturally of any sensations all over the body. Anywhere you can feel it, you just become aware of it. No need to focus on any point. Just become gently aware that there's constant flux of energy, movement, of sensations, which denote that there is some movement in the body all the time. And that you're aware of that. Something in you that makes you aware of that. Changeless substratum against which change is noted. Now, bring your awareness to the breath. And for today, I like to suggest that instead of just kind of being aware of the breath, you can also visualize that with the breathing, it is actually moving up and down your spine, right from the bottom of the spine to the top of the head. Just helps you to connect visually that the breathing is actually happening not in the lungs, but that is moving up and down the spine, all the way from the bottom of the spine to the top of the head. Just natural breathing, there's no controlling, nothing. You're just watching the breathing happening, but you just visualize that the breathing is happening all the way from the bottom of the spine to the top of the head. This just helps to balance the energy when we turn that visual field of our awareness to the spine. We don't need to visualize any chakras or any specific points or any light. Just visualize and feel. Most importantly is to feel that as you're breathing naturally, that breathing is happening behind you from the bottom of the spine, moving up all the way along the line of the spine to the top of the head. And then as you breathe out naturally, it comes back all the way down. And you can also switch that and feel that with the natural inhalation, the energy is moving from the bottom of the spine all the way to the top of the head. And with an exhalation, it is moving from the top of the head to the bottom of the spine. Just for a minute, try to feel that visually. Now we can actually switch to just letting go of the visualization and allowing the breathing to happen naturally. So now just stay with the breath. Just let the breathing come and go. You become aware of it. And if you can, try to watch for the gap in between the breathing. No need to force it, no need to make it happen. Just be aware of it. Now, if any thoughts come, you can just kind of try to see and allow the thoughts to be as they are. But use the practice to just kind of note that you're aware of the thoughts. You can almost try to separate out the thoughts from the act of observing the thought or being aware of the thought. So, this process of separating out vivicya, as in Sanskrit, is actually helpful and an important step in trying to getting freedom from this constant source of thinking. So you allow the thoughts to come, and when they come, you just try to recognize that you're aware of them, that there is some still entity which is aware of the moment of thoughts. And then you continue watching the breath with that same attitude that as the moment of the breathing is happening, there is a stable, watchful, still entity that is aware of it. Now just completely let go of all focus, all awareness, and just rest just in awareness. And if you like to also open your eyes, that's fine. And just welcome any experience that comes to you. Allow everything to come, just the sounds, the thoughts, the body sensations, the breathing, everything is happening. But the idea here is that your mind is still working. We do not disrupt the working of the mind, but we do not allow the mind to get carried away with the mental commentary. All the emotional drama of the day, all the activities and memories of the events of the past, all the concerns of the future, all the judgments and evaluations, we don't get carried away by them. We try to remain vigilant and aware. Let the mind work, bring to you all information, but don't allow the mind to carry on its chattering, evaluating, and judging everything. Maintain your awareness and be completely here in this present moment. Not fighting any experience, not trying to grab at any experience. Just remain in perfect awareness, non judgmental, completely aware. And when you get a little disturbed from that, you feel that you can no longer maintain that, just go back to bring with the breath. Or if you like, also, you can continue with some chanting, anything, any mantra or any nam japa, whatever helps you to stabilize the mind. If you are watching the breath, then become aware of the breathing. Let it come of its own. Let it go back. In between the inhalation and exhalation, you can look for the gap and then just allow naturally the breathing to happen. Relax your focus also a little bit so that you're not controlling the breathing. One more time, completely let go of all the efforts. Just rest in awareness. No need to focus on anything. When we switch back and forth from focusing and then resting, we allow our hearts and minds to expand. And yet we bring this quality of being conscious to a higher intensity. We become conscious of everything, but without getting carried away by anything. This is a real meditation, to be completely conscious, to be completely present, and yet having that discernment to not allow thoughts and emotions to drag us away. See if you can maintain that awareness for a couple of minutes, allowing every experience, whether it's a sound, smell, sight, memories, body sensations, breath, let everything come. But don't get carried away with any mental chatter about it. If there's some thoughts that bother you, then realize that they are just thoughts, they're movement. They come and they go. The only reality is that you're aware of it, you're conscious of it. All distractions stop when we realize that we have the power to be conscious. We recognize this conscious nature right within us. All distractions come to an end at that point when we realize that we are being conscious. And now gently relax. Yeah, relax all effort. And then gently bring your awareness to the point in between the chest area, the heart center. And you can bring to mind anyone who is in need of any prayer and send out your loving thoughts and prayer to those people. You can also express a sense of gratitude for this opportunity, for this satsang, for this grace or opportunity to have faculties of our body and mind that allows us to meditate. chant Om together. Hands. So you can try to continue this part of the practice, which today I taught, even in your few moments whenever you have an opportunity. One of the main practices that really is helpful to us in our day-to-day life is to how to be free of this continual raging thoughts, that mental chatter that goes on in our minds all the time, because that doesn't allow us to be in the present moment. It doesn't allow us to act in a proper discerning way. So the best way to do that is, as we did in this practice today, is to recognize that this constant movement, this fluctuation of thoughts, doesn't mean that you have to stop the working of the mind always, as in completely shut it off. No, that's not it. Let the mind operate, but we recognize that stable, still entity in us. So the moment we actually have that recognition, or the moment we can see that more and more, then we slowly allow this chatter to come and go. We are no longer obsessed by the mental chatter anymore. We can finally be free, at least momentarily in the beginning. But the more we practice it, the more we see that we have the stable entity with us. And the still awareness, it's just a matter of recognizing that with the thoughts, there is awareness. When we see the clouds, we know that there is a sky. So the same thing, we recognize that movement of the thoughts, then we recognize the nature of awareness. So please try that for as many times as you can, even for a couple of minutes here and there. You can, wherever you're sitting, standing, wherever, you can try that. So I wish you all the best, and that your practice may be fruitful, and that you may experience the peace, happiness, and joy that comes from meditation. Thank you. Namaste.